Good morning. Good morning. How is everybody doing today? Happy Wednesday. I hope the day is off to a fantastic start for you. If you are in New York, it's frigid outside, baby. The wind is fierce and vicious. So make sure you bundle on up. I know it hit us way quicker than we thought it was. But get the scarf, get the gloves, get the hat, wear the big coat. It's cold outside. Just want to put that disclaimer out for anybody who's experiencing the Hulk that hit this week in the East Coast. I don't know if it was the entire East Coast or just New York City, but yeah, freezing temps. Um, so, with that a little aside out the way, hello and what's up? My name is Nana Badu. I am a style coach, I'm an image consultant, speaker, and I talk about all things related to style, confidence, and showing up as your biggest, boldest, most authentic self every single day, or as much as possible. And I do this for women in leadership who are really in a space of shedding a lot of the corporate, the corporate uniforms, right? The corporate uniforms that just really don't allow your true self to shine. So today's conversation is fully aligned in that space. And we are talking all about color. And in particular, I'm talking about three colors that every woman needs to have in her closet, okay? Because in case you didn't know, this is the first time you're pulling up the situation. I'm a girl who likes to wear color, okay? We're doing a little pink situation today, and I just really believe and have seen how transformative for women color is. And in fact, like in my experience and the many closets that I have seen, the first space that women struggle with is having clothes that are out of date. Next is things that don't fit well. And then third is in the space of color. And we're really wearing and purchasing a lot of muted colors, those dusty pinks, those the ashy beiges, like the colors that are just completely muting you out and are not doing anything to enhance your features. So I see just this constant cycle of these colors in women's closets. And I'm like, we got to change this. Like the colors, they ain't popping. And what happens is, you go out to the store, you go shopping, and you see the same color waves in the store. So that's what you buy repeatedly over and over and over again. So if you're finding yourself opening up your closet each morning and you are still seeing that sea of navy, a bunch of blacks, a lot of grays, a lot of neutral colors, and a lack of other colors that could really complement them. This is a conversation for you. This is also a conversation for anyone who's thought, I really want to wear more color, but I'm not sure what I should be looking for, because when I open my closet, I see a lot of the same things. This is a conversation for you as well. Okay, so we're going to dive right up into it. So the three colors that every woman should have in her closet, these are the three. You should have bold colors, soft colors, and neutral colors. Repeat it again. Bold colors, soft colors, and neutral colors. Now, you probably thought I was just going to tell you need to have red, and you need to have pink, and you need to have blue. No. Wouldn't be me if I didn't do something different. All right. You want to think about color in a slightly different way for this conversation. All right. And I want you to think about it more along the lines of the types of colors. So we're thinking about in terms of bold, soft, and muted colors. Your bold colors, those are colors like the top that I have on right now. right? Like these are really saturated, very rich, very striking. They look like jewel tone colors. They look like your emerald greens. They look like, some great rich oranges. They look like, fire engine red, right? Like these are hues that are extremely visible always. Okay. And it's important for you to have colors like this in your wardrobe because you want to be seen, right? You want to be seen and you want to be remembered. You can instantly differentiate yourself from a pool of other candidates in a conference, being interviewed, simply by incorporating a pop of a bold color into your look. So everyone is in black and navy, right? But maybe you're going for more of a richer cobalt blue in your suit. Or maybe you're simply adding a layering piece or a necklace or a statement pair of glasses in a bold red, right? Like you are intentionally adding pieces to your wardrobe that are going to be unmissable. And bold colors are unmissable. Yes, they do. On the complexion tip, Portia, absolutely. For melanated women, bold colors just radiate, 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 you know? And it really, like people feel the energy when you wear a really bold color. When you wear something again that's highly saturated, very rich, very vibrant, right? Think about all those kind of jewel tone colors, the hot pinks, the fuchsias, right? Like think about that. Some really rich golds, like people see those colors and instantly, oh my gosh, you look amazing. You look fantastic. I love this color on you, right? Like it has a visceral reaction from people. And you want this, okay? You want to be seen. Like, I don't want to hear anything about you talking about you want to be in the background. Like, oh, I just don't want to be, seen too much. Like, I'm just want to be on the periphery. For what? For what? Okay? Like, no. No. I was at a dinner event yesterday, and I was chatting with a woman, and she was so vibrant in her energy, in talking about, I mean, we're talking about style and her wardrobe, but she was just so energetic. Like I can tell, like she's a mover and a shaker, right? She is a socializer. And she was also just wearing a black turtleneck and like some khaki like pants. And I thought, man, your energy and your personality is so vibrant, but it's not translating through this entirely neutral outfit. It's You're talking like you have main character energy, but your outfit is background. You know what I'm saying? So the bold, come on. Portia, if you don't want to be seen, you don't want money. Huh? Ta 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 ta. Okay? Put it down. All right? You don't want it. You don't want the new clients. You don't want to start your business. You don't want the salary increase. You don't want the role. You don't want the dreams and the goals that you say you want. If you're saying, "Well, I don't want to be seen too much." Well, go ahead and sit down, girl. Go ahead and take a seat, okay? Because somebody else is ready. They're going to step right up, all right? So you got to let that limiting belief go. And you want to interject some bold colors into your situation, all right? So if you are looking to figure out which bold colors that I should introduce, start with red. Start with red. Red is fantastic. Red is the most noticeable color out there in the world, all right? add a pop of red. And like I like to tell people all the time, when you're thinking about red, don't just think about the most extreme. Well, no, I'm not ready to get a red suit. Maybe you're not ready for the entire red suit. Maybe it could be a red blazer. Maybe it's a red blouse. Maybe it's a red necklace, red glasses, right? Maybe it's a red handbag. Think about the cab, your clothing, accessories, and beauty. Where in these three spaces can you begin to incorporate a bolder color? Now, eventually you are going to want to put some color up in that clothes, okay? All right. But if you need to start with your accessories, your beauty, your lip color, if you need to start in those spaces, awesome. Start there. Start where it feels comfortable at first. But you do want to be incorporating these colors into your clothing because the clothing takes up the most space. We want you to be seen. All right. We want you to be unmissable in these rooms. All right. So start with red. If red feels a little too intense for you, slide on over to a purple. Okay. A violet, a fuchsia. Like purple is a really great color because it is a balance of red and blue. So you get the pronounced, like undeniable boldness of red, but it's also balanced with the dependability and the practicality of a blue, right? So you get this purple, and I think purple is a great power color for women. So slide up in that purple space, okay? That could be a really great space for you as well. If you are like, Nana, I just can't, I don't know, it's just too much for me, I just can't take it. Listen, we're going to move into the next space that could be a wonderful place for you to also incorporate some color. And that's in the soft space. The soft colors, okay? Your soft colors. These are colors that are basically like tonally might have a little bit more gray in them and they're not as saturated. So these are colors like lilac, mint, right? Softer shades of purple, softer shades of blue, softer shades of green. This looks like your butter yellows, okay? That was a hot color for last. No, butter yellow was this year. That was early at the top of the year, over the summer. It looks like those kinds of colors. So think about those lilacs, those mints, those sky blues, right? And think about those butter yellows, right? So those softer colors, okay, those can be great when you're thinking about layering pieces into your closet, when you're maybe thinking about a print, right? When you're thinking about some kind of print detail that you might want to layer in terms of a blouse underneath a blazer. You might even be thinking about this in terms of pieces that you might be layering like sweaters, right? You might be thinking about this in terms of cardigans. So these softer colors are simply meant to be complementary to your neutrals, all right? And these are, again, great things that you can use to layer with when you know you want to add some color, but the bold color it might not be the right occasion for it, or you might be intentionally deciding that you want to do a softer hue. And it also too might be for you that a softer color aligns better with your skin tone and features, okay? So depending on your skin, if you might be a little fairer in tone, your features in terms of your hair coloring might be a little bit softer as well, right? Like these soft colors, these are going to be a great complement for you, okay? You can also think about softer colors and incorporate them into your accessories like your scarves, right? Thinking about some prints. So a lot of times, if you're doing a traditional suit and you've got that black classic suit, hopefully it's something modern and chic and it's in like a Veronica Beard collection or something dope, okay? But you've got your black suit and you might want to be putting a little camisole underneath her, okay? So we like it. So maybe you're going to go for a nice soft peach color, right? And you're going to layer that in the camisole or in the blouse underneath. And then you could also complement it by having a scarf that has softer colors in it as well. There may be some peaches, some buttered yellow, some mint, right? So you're playing all in the soft color space, okay? You really want to start thinking about this. Hopefully this is helping you too, even if you're going into your closet, to really pick up your pieces. And instead of just looking at a piece and saying like, well, this is red and this is navy and this is orange. The thing about why I'm making this distinction between bold and soft and neutral is that so you could take a shade of red and I can have a red that's bold, like a fire engine red, right? That is a bold, bold hue, right? You can begin to soften that red as well, right? And begin to have a softer shade of red that's in your closet, okay? And those softer shades, right, are simply when if you're like mixing your paint set, when you begin to add a little more white or a little bit more gray, and then the color begins to soften up a little bit, right? And then we're going to get even into what kind of neutrals that red looks like, okay? Because yes, there are some reds out there that are neutrals, okay? We're going to get into that in a second. But you want to think beyond just the color by the name, because there's a spectrum that exists within that color. And you want to figure out what is the right value. Is it light? Is it dark? What's the right tone, right? That's going to be the best type of color for me. So thinking simply about it in terms of bolder colors, softer colors, and neutrals is just a way to give you a very simplified approach to going into your closet and identifying how many bold colors do I have, how many softer colors, how many neutrals, and looking to see where things fall, right? If you're heavy loaded on the neutrals, where are you going to implement some more bolder and softer pieces, right? And looking and seeing like, well, I have some bolder and softer pieces, but do they go together? They don't. Maybe I need some prints and some accessories to pull them together. Maybe I can do a bolder color in a blazer. Maybe I want to do a softer color in a blazer. Like, the world is your oyster. You can do a lot with color. So stop thinking about how limiting it is and start thinking about actually how many options you have and how you can really focus on finding the best colors for you. So yes, we're going to talk about some neutral reds. Yeah, the softer colors are really important, especially when it comes to skin tone, like, so for vibrant colors, sometimes when it comes to color, sometimes you're wearing a color because it really aligns with you and your skin tone, right? Like, I'm rich in melanated, okay? And my hair is darker as well. So this crisp pink, it's giving a pinky fuchsia. It's looking very hot pink on the screen. But this color is very warm, right? And rich. And so it complements the brown shades within my skin very, very well. Now, if I was to wear a softer shade of this pink, you wouldn't even notice the color. Like if this was a blush pink, right? Like you wouldn't even see it. There'd be no point, right? I would completely overpower the piece. It would do nothing for me. So it would just flatten me. Okay. All right. So, and that's not the space that I'm trying to be in. That's not the space that you're trying to be in. I've already established that you need to be visible, okay? Because you want the money, you want the roles, you got the big goals and dreams. So you want to be recognizing the colors and what effect it has when you put it on and how it plays with your skin tone. Does it wash you out? Does it fade? Is it visible on you? Does the color overpower you? Okay. Does it overpower you? Because sometimes you might put on a piece and you're like, all I see is the outfit and you're lost in the background, right? So maybe that bolder shade might be a little bit too much for you. You might need to find another one, or you may need to soften it and get into a softer color for yourself, right? So play around with this, right? For some, you might be doing that emerald green for that bold color. For others, it might look like a mint. Okay. You can also have both in the mix in your closet because sometimes the call is for the mint, right? The call, sometimes it's like, look, give me this soft silk blouse number. And this is what I'm feeling. And I'm feeling this in a flowy skirt, right? Because I'm in my feminine flow, and that's what we're doing. We just coming in here and telling people with a smile what to do and how to do it. Okay. Like color has energy, and that energy is felt and it is translated through you and how you carry it when you put it on. So you want to feel good in it. Okay. You want to feel excellent in those color choices that you make. All right. So think about those softer colors, especially as you're thinking about layering pieces that go underneath your jackets, and those pieces in the jackets and blazers as well, because you get a beautiful lilac. Hello, yes, thank you, ma'am. Okay, we love this. A nice shade of mint, like excellent and amazing. Okay, so especially when we're thinking about layering pieces and tops and blouses, especially in like those some wonderful silk fabrics, those softer colors, fantastic. Okay, fantastic, right? And those softer hues carry through. We talked about the accessories in your scarves, right? It also carries through when you're thinking about your beauty. You might want to do a little color of rouge in your lip, right? But maybe you're like, Nana, I see that magenta, I see that pink that you work with. That's not it for me, right? You might need to soften it for yourself, right? Totally fine. Might be a shade of coral. Maybe that's where a blush pink, right? And that softer shade is really working for you. So your clothing, your accessories, your beauty, those are the three spaces you can always choose to figure out how to incorporate some color. All right, and last but not least, your neutrals. Yes, yes, yes. Portia, I know you're very low on neutrals. Okay, you said you don't even have a regular white button-down shirt. Yeah, I had one too, and then I let it go. But I am gonna get a new one this season. I think, especially when you're talking in the workplace, like neutrals, and I take that back. Not just in the workplace. This is any space, weekend, casual events for the evening. You want to have some neutrals in the bag, okay? And this is where it's really fun to be playing with neutrals, like your blacks, your whites, right? For that red neutral, we're going to go with that burgundy. Yep, that good burgundy is a nice neutral color for you in your wardrobe, okay? But like neutrals like black and white, critical. Critical, 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 critical. Okay? Like these are great colors. Black is amazing. Like, especially if you're going out in the evening, you want to have that sharp black dress. You might want to have a top with some nice sheer moments in it. You want to have that crisp, well-tailored black blazer, right? These are classic things. You're going to have black pants. These are fundamental pieces in your workwear, right? But how are you incorporating some soft and some bold colors? Or how are you mixing even your neutrals, to make it more interesting? All right. So black is quintessential. You want to have it in your wardrobe. Now, whether you have an overwhelming majority of it and the quality and the different types of black, because a black and a leather is very different than a black knit in a sweater versus a black cotton in a pant. Okay? There's levels. Okay? So you want to be incorporating those neutrals. White. When you got that crisp white blazer, what? Can you see that white suit pop out for the winter? Can't tell you nothing, okay? We love that moment. White blouses, that white button-down shirt, the white pieces, camisoles, tees, layering. These are all quintessential neutrals that you want to have in your wardrobe. It allows the inclusion of your color pops to really stand out, especially when you're doing a bold color and mixing that with white. Right? Like that is there's the right contrast that's happening there, because the saturation is real, it's rich, it's vibrant, it's striking. So you want to play around with the neutrals that you have in your wardrobe. You might have some navies, some grays, some maroons, olive greens, right? Like these are neutrals, okay? Um, let's mix them. Throw the burgundy with a little navy blue. All right? Take some of those soft mint colors and mix it with some of those deep grays, right? Like let's mix the neutrals, okay? You might have some chocolatey browns in there for those neutrals. What? Brown is having a moment right now, right? So you might be doing some fun shades of brown through your look. So having neutrals is important. And it also is important for you to identify the right neutrals that mix with your colors, whether they are soft or bold, okay? So think about going into your closet, maybe this weekend, taking a little time and starting to just see where you fall and if you have more bold, more soft, or more neutral colors in your closet. But bottom line is, you want to have colors in each of these spaces in your wardrobe, and you want to make sure that they are able to work well together. That's when the integration happens with your closet and you're able to easily get dressed because things work well. You have the bold colors, these jewel tones, and you have the blacks and the whites, and they instantly click and work well together. You have your softer hues, you've got your mints, you've got your corals, your butter yellows. Boom, you're able to easily mix those with your navies, mix them with your chocolates, etc. Okay? So you want to have a good mix of these 3 different color spaces. And this is hopefully a new way for you to think about incorporating color into your closet and identifying where you have some gaps. And of course, if you are looking at your closet and you're like, girl, I don't know, I got too many of these neutrals. I ain't got no bold colors, a soft color. What? All my soft colors are out of date. They all look like Easter eggs, so on and so forth. If the struggle is real, just reach out to me, send me a DM, and I'm happy to hop on a consultation call with you and chat about what we can do to elevate the color situation in your closet. All right. All right. I'm so glad this was some enlightening. Okay. We got some epiphanies around some new neutral colors. Yes, burgundy, olive green. Yeah, these are some good neutrals. Okay. So let them work for you. All right. All right, y'all. I am out for today and I will catch you next Wednesday. Oh, peace.